Hi, my name's Addison, and today I'm going to be showing you different ways to control bleeding out in the woods. Alright, so the materials that you'll need for this, some sticks. You can either find one large, big stick that's strong enough to keep torsion and won't break, a knife, or trauma shears. These are trauma shears, they're pretty cheap. You can buy like a pack of 6 for $20 on Amazon. And some old clothing, whether that's, if you're backpacking, it could be the clothing you're wearing or just some extra clothing you had, but something that you can tear up and create bandages with, or if you thought ahead and brought bandages, then you obviously use those. Alright, so say you're walking around the woods with a friend and your friend falls down and hurts themselves on the forearm, the leg, whatever, and starts having uncontrolled bleeding. Well, there's a couple things you can do. First thing you want to do is clean the wound. So say it's a cut right here, you want to take some water, or if you are lacking water, you can take a piece of clothing and brush the wound off. Water, you just kind of wash the wound. After that, you want to create some bandages. So what I have here is a pair of trauma shears. They're very useful for cutting clothes. If you don't have trauma shears, you can use a knife. So you can see the trauma shears do pretty well on clothing. Alright, so I've now cut the shirt into multiple strips, and the first thing we're going to do, what you always want to do, is apply direct pressure to the wound. So say they're bleeding right here, you just take your cloth, apply direct pressure, have them hold the bandage like that, and then you want to raise it above their heart. This makes it so the blood doesn't flow as hard towards the front of the arm and where the wound is. It will hopefully slow the bleeding down. What you can do from there is wrap it to keep that continual pressure, and I'm just doing a simple knot. And that should keep the pressure. Now, if they continue bleeding through, and this becomes soaked with blood, you can keep packing it on there. If that doesn't work and they just keep bleeding through, pack that a couple times, and then what you want to do is what's called a pressure point. So you find their brachial artery, which runs between the bottom of their arm and where their bicep begins, right about here, and then you grab the other side of their arm and you pinch. And what this does is it basically stops the blood flow, but it's not as dangerous as a tourniquet. So you keep that, keep pressure on it, keep their arm up, keep pressure on the wound, and wait for the bleeding to stop. If the bleeding doesn't stop, we can go to a tourniquet. Tourniquet is always the last option because it is dangerous. So what you want to do with the tourniquet is find a longer strip, and if you don't have one that's long enough, you can tie two together to create one that is. And the reason you want a long one is because we're going to use sticks to torsion the bandage down, tighten up, so it basically cuts off all blood flow to the arm. So the first thing you want to do is lay something down over where the top is going to be, so you don't pinch their skin and hurt them any more than is necessary. So you wrap it like that, and you just do a simple, you just lay it over itself. And then you tie a knot on the top, leaving enough room for sticks to go through, or if you have a hiking pole, or the pole to go through that, sticks to go through it probably best. So, simple knot, room for torsion sticks. So what I have here, 3 torsion sticks. You just put through right there. And you start twisting until it's tight enough. And you know it's tight enough when it stops moving. From there, you can take another one of your strips, and then you tie that down so it doesn't loosen. Now, one of the most important parts is then you write the time on them that you put it down. This is for when you get to help, the doctors know how long the tourniquet's been on there and how they can loosen it, because they have different procedures for how long it's been on there. So right now is 4:25. So from here I would just write either 4:25 on her arm, or if they're unconscious, you can write it on their forehead. Just somewhere that's visible and won't be washed or wiped off. And forehead is obviously one of the most visible spots. So, as I said, the tourniquet is the most dangerous option, because if it's on there for too long and doctors undo it improperly, you can damage their skin by all the blood flowing back really quickly. You'll damage their muscles, their skin, the nerve ending. It's a lot like having frostbite. If you warm it up too quickly, you'll damage the material. So you want to start with pressure and elevation, pressure point, elevation and pressure, and then finally you end with the tourniquet.